12 months, 4 Criterion sales, many films watched. Wow, guys, it's the end of the year already. As Oscar season approaches, I wanted to do a video of my favorites of the past year. I'd say 2024 was a pretty good year for film. I definitely prefer 2023, but we definitely got some good stuff, but we also got some stinkers. So let's do it. Top 15 best films. Also, before I get started, I got some bad news. There are some films I really wanted to see, but won't get to see until this year at some point. There are also it's impossible to watch every 2024 film. So, let's get started with a couple rapid fires. A big surprise and a great action film with some nice cinematography. I'm not touching this topic with a 10-foot pole. Great blockbuster with some nice moments and a good homage to stunt performers. Okay, here we go. I have a decent amount to say about this film. Nosferatu is great. Actually, it's more than great. It's what remakes should be, in my opinion. But it does have some flaws. The Lighthouse is one of my favorite movies of all time. In fact, it's number 2 on my Letterboxd top 4. I love the style of The Lighthouse and the direction. I also like The Witch, obviously not as much as Lighthouse, but still. So when I heard Eggers was doing a Nosferatu remake, I was ecstatic. And it seemed everyone else was too. So what did I think? Some minor spoilers ahead. I thought the story was great. It's pretty much like the original, but with some extra things added to make it a bit different. The idea of Nosferatu was in love with Alan wasn't a part of the original story, at least that I think. It was something added by Eggers to give it its own unique twist. It was both disturbing and fascinating at the same time, and it was the central focus of the plot. I enjoy when remakes take a different approach rather than copying the original exactly. I'm looking at you, Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. And I really appreciate the additions in this one. Fun fact, Robert Eggers made a play of Nosferatu. I don't know, to me that's kind of cool. Overall, it was a good story that was more complex than the original. And overall, it was a well-crafted story that added more depth and complexity compared to the original. Gladiator 2 is great. It may be very divisive, and was it really necessary? But hot damn, was it fun. At the least. The story was good. I mean, they did what they could. The characters are where this film shines. First off, Paul Mescal does a great job. He really sells us on him being who he is. Everyone does good, but the person who carries this film is the great Denzel Washington, who gives a wonderful performance. I mean, let's be honest, every film he acts in, he's the highlight. The pacing for this film is great too. Honestly, every time Gladiator stuff happened, I was giddy and silently laughing with joy in my seat. Conclave is phenomenal. I recently watched this for the first time, and I didn't expect it to like it as much as I did, but it was really engaging. Funny thing is, I had to Google what a conclave is, and I'm glad I did. For those who don't know, it's when the church votes for who the next pope will be. The film shows the corruption to get power in the world and how people will do shady things to get it. Everyone gives a great performance. My favorite performance in the film is probably John Lithgow's performance. I really haven't seen him in much stuff. I think the highlight of what I've seen him in is Dexter as the Trinity Killer, but it's great. I won't spoil what John Lithgow does in the film because, I don't know. The cinematography might be one of my favorite of the year. It's definitely a consideration for best cinematography, but there was a lot of great cinematography this year. The ending was good. It wasn't perfect, but the film was phenomenal. I could definitely see this winning some awards. Alright, maybe I'm not the demographic of this film. This film is good. It kind of reminds me of the body horror from The Fly. The story is good, and maybe it'll hit even more when I get older or on rewatches, but it was good nonetheless. Everyone gives a great performance, and Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley give equally good performances, which is funny, because they are the same person. The first 2/3 of the film go by so quickly. Ending is good, and I never thought I'd be grossed out by shrimp so much. Okay. Maybe it's not the cinematic masterpiece, but it's one of the most fun films I've watched this year. When I saw it opening night, the theater was full, and it was a great time. It was very funny, which is weird to say about this movie, and somehow I won't say anything, but a certain scene beats the bedroom scene in 2, or at least is a competitor. Challengers is great. I do need to rewatch it, but it was great. Tennis has really never been so interesting. I mean, I play tennis occasionally, but I never thought like a movie about tennis would be as engaging as it was. Everyone gives a great performance, and while she isn't my favorite actress, Zendaya gives a great performance. And the film makes me want to get a churro, so maybe I'll get that soon. It took me so long to watch this one. I had to wait for it to come out on digital because it wasn't showing very anywhere, but I didn't get a chance to. The film was phenomenal. I don't know much about that kind of work, but Mikey Madison makes the film engaging. The cinematography and colors are just breathtaking. The film by the end leaves you devastated, and I can't wait to rewatch this in the future. Most simply, the most underrated film of 2024. I love the vibe of this film. It reminds me of Goodfellas in a way, but let's be honest, this film is nowhere near as good as Goodfellas, so let's hold it there. The story is great. The characters are where the film shines, though. Tom Hardy always gives great performance, and Austin Butler also gives a great performance. Great film. Fun time. I love Long Legs. In my opinion, it's almost the perfect horror film. The story is great and reminds me of one of those true crime serial killer stories, but it has a little bit of a supernatural twist. Horror never really affects me, but there were some moments that got me. The characters are great, and as always, Nicolas Cage gives a great performance. The pacing is great, and just before I knew it, the film was over. I would have gladly taken a longer runtime. I've been saying this a lot, but I do really need to rewatch this, but when I did watch it, it was phenomenal. It might be one of the better road trip films that I've seen. Everybody gives a great performance, but let's be honest, that one Jesse Plemons scene is the best part. What kind of American? It's Dune Part 2. The Brutalist is spectacular. The Brutalist, not many people got to see it because the distribution for it was awful, but The Brutalist follows the life of Hungarian architect Laszlo Toth, who rises to fame in a post-World War II America by designing concrete structures as an architect. It grapples with personal tragedy and the moral compasses he makes to achieve that vision. I'm shocked that I even got to see this film, nonetheless in 70mm. The cinematography is stunning, and Adrian Brody gives a spectacular performance.
Doggy with no leash, I am free and I'm yummy. Moving bodies sucking me, they need a bit of honey. I see them drool, they could fill a whole pool. Baby slide me in and out, yeah I'm ready for the news. Yeah I'm ready for the truth, and I always make it.
Kinds of Kindness is phenomenal. I love the weirdness of it. It's split into 3 different stories with the same actors, and all the stories are great. The best one in my opinion is probably Story 2, but they all are great. Everyone is the highlight of the film. But Jesse Plemons is definitely my favorite performance in the film. My interpretation of the whole film is probably that it's about dependence and how we feel the need to be dependent on everyone another in life. This or The Brutalist are tied as my favorite this year, but this one slightly has the advantage. It's weird, it's hilarious, and overall, it's just phenomenal. And that's it. Those are my top 15 of 2024. It's been a crazy year with some unforgettable films and a few misses along the way. While 2023 might hold the top spot for me of the 2020s so far, 2024 proved that film just continues to thrive and surprise us. Whether you agree, disagree, or have your own favorites, let me know in the comments. I really would love to engage with people. Here's to more great films in 2025. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.